Om Sahanavavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Yoga Vidya Sampradaya Kartrubhyo Om Sharishibhyo Mahadbhyo Namo Gurubhyaha. Om Yedime Gurubhihi Purvam पदवाक्य प्रमाणतः व्याख्याताः सर्ववेदान्ताः योगाः तान् नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतो वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः परब्रह्मणे श्रुतिमात्रे समस्त ब्रह्मयोगविद्याचार्येभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो देवताभ्यो अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। संकल्पः तेषां सर्वेषां कृपया योग वेदांत साधन द्वारेण आत्मानुभूति कैवल्य प्राप्त्यर्थं सनातन धर्मस्य विश्वव्याप्ति विश्व आध्यात्मिक प्रगति एकता शांति पुरोद्यर्थं धर्म संस्थापने कंकणबद्ध अस्माकं सह सर्वेषां पूर्ण आयुरारोग्य शक्ति साधना प्राप्ति शत्रुविघ्न निर्मूलनेन धर्म संस्थापने निरंतर दिग्विजयार्थम अनेक शास्त्र अध्ययन साधना प्रयत्न मध्ये पतंजलि महर्षि प्रणीत योग दर्शन शास्त्रस्य पारायणम अध्ययनम व्यास भाष्य समेत मोक्षार्थम वयं सर्वे करिष्यामहे। ओम आदौ श्री योग दर्शन आचार्याणां स्मरणं नमनं प्रार्थना। ओम हिरण्यगर्भाय नमः। ओम हिरण्यगर्भाय नमः। ओम हिरण्यगर्भाय नमः। ओम कपिल महर्षे ओम कपिल महर्षे ओम कपिल महर्षे नमः। ओम पतंजलि महर्षे ओम पतंजलि महर्षे ओम पतंजलि महर्षे नमः। ओम व्यास महर्षे ओम व्यास महर्षे ओम व्यास महर्षे नमः। ओम अथ श्री पतंजलि महर्षि प्रणीत योग दर्शन शास्त्रम तृतीय पादम विभूति पादम कंठकूपे क्षुत्पिपासा निवृत्तिः कूर्मनाड्यां स्थैर्यं मूर्धज्योतिषे सिद्धदर्शनं प्रातिभाद्वा सर्वं हृदये चित्तसंविद सत्त्वपुरुषयोः अत्यन्त असंकीर्णयोः प्रत्यय अविशेषात् भोगः परार्थत्वात् स्वार्थ प्रत्यविशेषात् भोगः परार्थत्वात् स्वार्थ संयमात् पुरुष ज्ञानम। Friends, we are seeing the results in the form of various siddhis and vibhutis when samyama is done on various dharma and dharmis. Krishna. In that 35th, fourth one Vyasa or 33rd में Pratibhadva Sarvam. On the Pratibha Jnana, if you do Samyama, Sarvam means if you do Samyama on Viveka Khyati, before the arrival of Viveka Khyati, Pratibha Jnana will come. That is equivalent to the achieving of all other said siddhis so far. Then in the 34th shlok we saw yesterday, Hrudaye Chitta Samvitu means Hrudaya Pundarika we have. On that Hrudaya Pundarika where we do the Sayama, that because in that Hrudaya and from that Hrudaya only the Chitta arises. The Samvit means entire knowledge about the Chitta will come to us. What is Chitta? What are the samskaras? And what are the Vrutthis? Which guna is influencing? These things will be conspicuously known. In fact, it is very essential, isn't it, that it is a completeness of diagnosis. Then the treatment can be done only when we know through diagnosis what is the disease or problem. So in that way, हृदय में ध्यान करने से। यत इदम अस्मिन् ब्रह्मपुरे दहरम पुंडरीकम वेश्म तत्र विज्ञानम तस्मिन् संयमात् चित्त संवितो। है ना, चित्त को पूरी तरह माप लेना, जान लेना भी एक बढ़िया अचीवमेंट है। चित्त संवित। ओके, नाउ अदर देन चित्त इज पुरुष। चित्त अलग है, पुरुष अलग है, दोनों मिक्सअप है, मिक्सअप. So the Samyama, though so far we were using for some or the other outer siddhis, outer vibhuthis, now pure spiritual using of the Samyama. First aspect was knowing about Chitta. Other than Chitta is the Purusha. Being one with Purusha is moksha. That somehow doesn't do any apeksha of any sadhana. The obstacle for realizing I am self. When that obstacle is removed, I am already self. That is experienced. Therefore, पुरुष अनुभव के लिए कोई साधना जरूरत नहीं. अविद्या को निकालो, विद्या से I am Purusha, I realized. But there is somebody Purusha other than the Chitta. This knowledge, these two together, if you really clearly think, the Samvit about Chitta, then Samvit about Purusha. Is it not the beginning of Viveka Khyati? So, therefore, the Samyama is done for Viveka Khyati. Samyama is gained through Antakarana, Antaranga Sadhana. Antaranga Sadhana is done after Bahiranga Sadhana. So, Bahiranga, Antaranga Sadhana put together, the Ashtanga Yoga is done for Samyama. Samyama is done for Viveka Khyati. That is how the whole Ashtanga Yoga has begun. योगांगानुष्ठानात् अशुद्धिक्षये ज्ञानदीप्ति अविवेक ख्याते है. That sutra here concludes. ये सारा उसी का explanations थे. By doing the anushtana of the Ashtanga Yoga, all the ashuddhi goes away. Ashuddhi is what? Mixing up between sattva and purusha. When that gets kshaya, uh, uh, jnana deepti, the jnana happens. The jnana deepti is what we are discussing now. When you do Samyama and Hridaya, Chitta Samvito, Jnana Deepti. What is Chitta? Clearly Vada Chala. With today's sutra we study, with that the Purusha Samvit will happen. Purusha Jnana. That is called as Jnana Deepti. Once that Deepti of Jnana comes, wherein this is Prakriti, this is Purusha, very clearly known. This is Chitta, this is Purusha. It's only a question of applying Paravairagya and dropping that some Chitta Sattva, then what remains is Purusha. You identify with that. Tada drashtuhu swarupi avasthanam. That is called as Kaivalyam. This all happen practically if you do. Theoretically we are listening, but have we started shout ahimsa satya asteya? We have to see. किसी भी जन्म में, इसी जन्म में हो या 10 के बाद, शुरू तो इसी से करना होगा. लेकिन वेदांत आल्सो शुरू तो विवेक से ही करना पड़ेगा, लेकिन भक्ति शुरू तो श्रवण से ही करना है. Without the first step of Shravana, you can't do Bhakti. Without the first step of Viveka Vairagyadi, we can't do Vedanta. Without the first step of Yama Niyama, we can't do Yoga. Without these three sadhanas, moksha will not come. The opposite things we do and get the worldly things, this world and that world, ये सब चलता होगा, moksha will not happen. This buddhi of ours, having gained all this knowledge, has to get convinced about it. यही time ले रहा है. We are only at the level of collecting the data. Then when we have thoroughly understood it, and in our own life experiment करके देखो, by not pursuing spirituality, how we are getting lost, वो तो देख ही रहे. Then slowly, oh, ये पद्धति नहीं है भाई, ये करना पड़ेगा. That change in our deep core of the heart, कि this is the way the life has to be lived, sadhana has to be done for moksha. वो आपको पता होना है, conviction. Because you are always looking for alternative from the main path, and that alternative path is useless path, binding us to the world only. Just like what we discussed so far in our Vedanta class 10 minutes back. उसको कर्म नहीं छोड़ना है बस, और मुक्ति चाहिए. अरे ज्ञान से मुक्ति होता है रे, कर्म से अंतःकरण शुद्धि होता है. तो कर्म ही डज फॉर द आउटर फल, एंड ही नेवर वांट्स द ज्ञान टू गेट मोक्ष. अरे देखो, एंड मोक्ष तो चाहिए उसको. This is what childishness. Child doesn't want to study, he want to play. He doesn't want to do work at home, he want to be lazy and sleeping. That reluctance, government employee doesn't want to work, but he wants salary. A politician doesn't want to serve country, but he wants the power and name and fame. Now, these are the terrible, deep delusions. Every individual is a victim of them. You and I are also. Breaking those shackles is called removing the moha. That's why Bhagavan Adi Shankara gives title to his book, The Moha Mudgara. भज गोविंदम टेक्स्ट का एक नाम है मोह मुद्गरा. डेल्यूजन को मार के निकाल देना. What is the delusion? Three things. What is that? This way if you go, you will go to Naraka, called as Papa Marga. This way you go to Swarga, called as Punya Marga. This way you go to Moksha, this is Sadhana Marga. इसको उल्टा सीधा करना ही delusion है. मतलब doing Papa and wanting to go to Swarga, not doing Punya, है ना? Doing Papa and not want to go to Swarga, not doing Punya and want to go to Sarga, and not doing sadhana and wanting moksha. These deep thoughts are delusions. We have to come out of them. Like that, without Daivanugraha, you can't have Jnanam. But we don't do Upasana for Daivanugraha. Without Guru Anugraha, the Shastra Jnana sadhana won't happen. But we don't be obedient to Guru. Without the correct diet, health, energy cannot be there of body. But we don't take good food. We take wrong food, which is heavy, no energy and no health. Everywhere. That's what today in the introduction also. Small little adjustments when you do, great benefits come. We discussed it. These delusions have to go away. करना ही पड़ेगा. योग मार्ग, भक्ति मार्ग, ज्ञान मार्ग खुला ओपन है आपको फॉलो करके मोक्ष पाने के लिए. बट वी आर रिलक्टेंट. देर आर सीढ़ियां चढ़ने को. सीढ़ियों के दोनों तरफ दैट पैरापिट वॉल इज देयर. दिस द चिल्ड्रन लाइक मंकी, दे डोंट वांट टू गो बाय स्टेयर्स, द इजी पाथ. उसको दीवार से जाना पड़ता है. मन उसको ऐसा लगता है ना. फॉर वॉकिंग देयर इज सर्विस रोड, फॉर द व्हीकल्स द मेन रोड. अब मेन रोड में जाने वाला व्हीकल वाला सर्विस रोड में जाना चाहता है, सर्विस रोड वाला चलने वाला मेन रोड में जाना चाहता. अरे काहे को. Human mind. That is the meaning of Pashyan apija na pashyati. Mudaha. He is told, but he doesn't want to know. And the other place, ya pashyati sa pashyati. The one who sees the thing to be seen as it is to be, he has seen the thing. Right? Now, today's mantra number 35, that is Sutra. इसका नंबर सिद्धि है 18th वाला. Yesterday we saw Sutrartha, today we do the Bhashyartha. Sutra is big one. सत्व पुरुषयोः अत्यंत असंकीर्णयोः प्रत्यय अविशेषः भोगः परार्थत्वात् स्वार्थ संयमात् पुरुष ज्ञानम्. The literal meaning is what? पहले ही बता रहे. सत्व, that is अंतःकरण, which has come out of the prakriti. Purusha, the Purusha tattva. Atyanta asankirnayo, they're totally excluding to each other. There cannot be any mixture of them, admixture of them. The imagination can be done of the admixture, but they can never become sankirna. Sankirna means coming together and getting attached to, identified with. Fact, मतलब really. नहीं हो सकते. अत्यंत असंकीर्ण. We gave the example of oil and water. असंकीर्ण. बट वाटर वाटर एंड ऑयल इज संकीर्ण. एक दूसरे से मिल जाते हैं वो, ये दोनों नहीं, बिकॉज विभिन्न जातीय है वो. सत्व एंड पुरुषार भिन्न जातीय, उनका संकीर्ण नहीं हो सकता. ऐसे दोनों असंकीर्ण चीजों का प्रत्यय अविशेष भोग, that the Purusha identifying with that Prakriti or Sattva, that is called as Bhoga. And in this Bhoga, why this Bhoga is happening? Pararthatvat. The Buddhi or Sattva is there for the Purusha to experience only. Therefore, isme the Buddhi or the Antakarna has become Parartha. Then what is the other thing remained? The Purusha. If the Buddhi is Parartha, what is Purusha? Is Swartha. Therefore, Swartha Sanyamat. On that Purusha, when you do Sanyama, Purusha Jnanam, we get the clear Jnanam about the Purusha Tattva's existence. Here, Purusha Jnanam is knowledge about the existence of pure Paramatma, not the experience and moksha. In the same way, here Swartha Purusha is the Chidabhasa Purusha. The Chidabhasa Purusha and Chitta. That three things I told in the introduction yesterday. The Buddhi, then the Chidabhasa in the Buddhi, and pure Chit. Chit means conscious self. Conscious self, Chit is different. Chit Abhasa is different. Buddhi is different. Chidabhasa identifies with the Buddhi is called Bhoga of the Chidabhasa. And the Buddhi is for that purpose only, Pararthatva. And the only difference is the Chidabhasa can become aware of it, need not get identified, but it gets identified. What is Chitta? Chitta is something different. It is a pure conscious self. It never gets identified with anything. So of that Purushas, Jnanam, that there is somebody untouched by, it is Chidabhasa or the Chitta, is Jnanam will come when you do Sanyama on that Chidabhasa. That Chidabhasa is called as Swartha here, because the contrast picture called, the Buddhi is called as Parartha. That's the meaning of the sutra. Sattva Purushayoho, Atyanta Asankirinayoho, Pratyaya Avishesha Bhogaha, Pararthatvat, Swartha Sanyamat, Purusha Jnanam. That's what is the meaning. Actually, we have discussed it. भाष्यकार क्या कहते हैं देखो कि बुद्धि सत्वम प्रख्याशीलम समान सत्व उपनिबंधने रजस्तमसी वशीकृत्य सत्व पुरुष अन्यथा प्रत्ययेन परिणतम. तस्माच्च सत्वात् परिणामिनः अत्यंत विधर्माः विशुद्धः अन्यः चितिमात्र रूपः पुरुषः तयोः अत्यंत असंकीर्णयोः प्रत्यय अविशेषः भोगः पुरुषस्य दर्शित विषयत्वात् स भोग प्रत्ययः सत्वस्य परार्थत्वात् दृश्यः यस्तु तस्माद् विशिष्टः चितिमात्र रूपः अन्यः पौरुषेयः प्रत्ययः तत्र संयमात् पुरुष विषया प्रज्ञा जायते न च पुरुष प्रत्ययेन बुद्धिसत्वात्मना पुरुषः दृश्यते पुरुष एव तं प्रत्ययं स्व आत्मावलंबनं पश्यति तथा हि उक्तं विज्ञातारमरे केन विजानीयातु इति. So this Vyasa Bhagavan is quoting Brihadaranyaka Upanishad to explain the Patanjali Yoga Darshana. So one by one thing, Buddhi Sattvam Prakhyashilam Samana Sattva Rupanibandhane Rajastamasi Vashikritya Sattva Purusha Anyata Pratyena Parinatam. Okay. There is Prakriti, the matter. It has got three gunas, Rajas, Tamas and Sattva. Among these three gunas, we attend to. When Rajas and Tamas are reduced or suppressed, Sattva becomes predominant. That predominant Sattva Gunatmakata of the Prakriti, predominant Sattva Gunatmakata of the Prakriti is called as Buddhi. यह बुद्धि का डेफिनेशन दे रहे हैं. प्रकृति में तीन गुण है, तीन गुणों में जब सत्व गुण बढ़ता है, रजो तमो गुण कम होकर, देन इट इज कॉल्ड एज बुद्धि. तो रजोगुण ज्यादा है तो देन इट इज मन एंड प्राण एंड इंद्रियास, तमोगुण ज्यादा है तो इट इज शरीर, बिकॉज शरीर इज तमोगुण, प्राणेन्द्रिय मन रजोगुण, बुद्धि सत्वगुण. So Sattva-guna is buddhi, be clear. Where predominantly Sattva is there, Rajas Tamas are suppressed. That is what? Rajas Tamasi Vashikritya Sattva Purusha Anyata Pratyena Parinatam. That is called Buddhi Sattva. One thing is this. In that Sattva Guna Buddhi, the Chit Pratibimba is called Chidabhas. That is called Purusha here. That Purusha gets identified with the Buddhi Sattva. Therefore, he becomes Bhokta and that Buddhi has become Bhogyavastu. On that reflected Purusha Sattva, when you do Samyama, that is called Chidabhasme, we get the knowledge about the Paramatma whose Abhasa is there as Chidabhasa. Knowledge means the information about his presence becomes conspicuous and clear. Conspicuous, clear. Then only when you transcend even Chidabhasa, you get identified with that Purusha Tattva, which is our final goal. Tasmacha Sattvat Parinaminaha. That which is a parinam of the sattva called as buddhi, atyanta vidharmaha vishuddhaha anyaha chitimatra rupaha purushaha. There is somebody totally different, pure consciousness Purusha, other than the reflection of Purusha in the chitta called as Chidabhas. So Chit Rupi pure consciousness is different. The Chit's Chidabhasa is different. So Bhagwan Surya is different. Surya Pratibimba in the water or the mirror is different. Then the reflected surface is different. The reflected surface, the water or mirror is Buddhi. The reflection is Chidabhasa. The original Bimba Rupi Surya is pure Chit consciousness. The other day we chanted in Vivek Chudamani, Ghatam Jalam Tad Gatamirka Bimbam Vihaya Sarvam Vinirikshate Yatha. Ghatam Jalam Tad Gatam Arka Bimbam Vihaya. Ghata, the pot, the gross body. Jala, the water, the subtle body. Tad Gatam Arka Bimbam, the reflection of the sun in that, called as Chidabhasa Jiva. Vihaya. When these three are transcended or rejected, Nirikshate Arkaha, you will see the sun. In the same way, Sthula Sharira, Antakarana, Chidabhas. तीनों को डिटैच करोगे मेडिटेशन में, we see the pure self. Whose reflection in the Buddhi Tattva is acting as Chidabhasa, expressing as Chidabhasa. Chidabhasa identified with, again, Buddhi, Mana, Indriya is called Jiva. So Jiva is Paramatma's reflection in the Buddhi Tattva and identified with the Upadhis. Then same Jiva detached from the Upadhis and while focusing on Paramatma Tattva, he gets identified with him. That's called Moksha. मोक्ष किसको है? जीव को. किससे? जीव भाव से ही. Like moksha is for the husband. From what? From his husbandhood. How? By realizing that he is man. How? By giving up the condition called wife. The moment he gave the condition of wife, he is no more husband, but he is always a man. So too, with the buddhi, the chit appeared as Chidabhasa. Buddhi may reflect होकर. अब this Chidabhasa fellow, when he focuses on the pure Chit Swarupa, in that attempt, is detaching from the Buddhi, which was the reflecting media, then he will no more be Jiva. He will be one because Chit Swarupa. Meaning is, when the water is removed or pot broken, water gone, where the reflection of sun goes? Back to the original sun. That is what. कि तस्माच्च सत्वात् परिणामिनः अत्यंत विधर्मा विशुद्धः अन्यः चितिमात्र पुरुषः रूप पुरुषः. ओके, तयोः अत्यंत असंकीर्णयोः प्रत्यय अविशेषः भोगः पुरुषस्य. Of these two things, which are absolutely asankirana. Chidabhasa as well as buddhi. They can never be mixed up. फिर भी प्रत्यय अविशेषः, they getting as if identified. विशेष को छोड़ दिया कि देर अलग है करके वो बात थी, छोड़ दी, दे हैव बिकम वन एज इफ. दिस कॉल्ड एज भोगः पुरुषस्य. तो चिदाभास आइडेंटिफाइंग द बुद्धि इज कॉल्ड भोग. दर्शित विषयत्वात्. ओके, देन आफ्टर स भोग प्रत्यय, दैट भोग अनुभूति प्रत्यय सत्वस्य परार्थत्वात्. दिस सत्व और द अंतःकरण और द बुद्धि इज फॉर द सेक ऑफ चिदाभास ओनली. उसका अपना कोई इंडिपेंडेंट रहने की जरूरत ही नहीं है. वो बुद्धि के लिए, बुद्धि जो है चिदाभास के लिए है. दैट इज इट इज कॉल्ड एज परार्थ. दृश्य हो गया वो. सो परार्थत्वात् दृश्य. स भोग प्रत्यय सत्वस्य परार्थत्वात् दृश्य. दैट बुद्धि इज ए दृश्य नाउ, एंड बिकॉज इट इज दृश्य, it is known, identified by the Chidabhasa. He is called Parartha. Yah tu tasmad vishishtah chitimatra rupah anyah paurusheyah. There is somebody, the pure conscious self, other than Buddhi and Chidabhasa. Pratyah tatra sanyamat purusha vishaya prajna jayate. When you do sanyaman, the Chidabhasa, that purusha vijnanam comes to us. Purusha vishaya prajna will come. There is somebody else, Purusha, I have to identify with them for moksha. Right now I am a Chidabhasa Ahamvrutti reflected in this. I am the Chidabhasa reflection of the Atman in the Ahamvrutti. That clarity will come at that level. Now, but thing is, Nacha Purusha Pratyena Buddhi Sattva Atmana Purusha Dushyate. Here Purusha means not pure Purusha is different from the reflected Ji Purusha. Purusha eva tam pratyayam swatma avalambanam pashyati. तथा ही उक्तम विज्ञातार मरे केन विजानीयात. For that pure Paramatma to be known, there is nobody to know him. Nobody is required to know him. He is with himself, the pure conscious self. So therefore, all these efforts we are doing are at the level of Chidabhasa and Buddhi. There is nothing to do with the pure conscious self, though that is our goal. So here we are discussing about the Samyama resulting in the buddhi, vibhutis or siddhis. So samyama vishayam is the chidabhasa. Samyama phala is the knowledge about the presence of chit swarupa. It is not the experience of chit swarupa atma and moksha, but the knowledge of there is something called chit is there. That which is essential for us comes when we do samyama on the chidabhasa. Chidabhasa is consciousness reflected on the buddhi tattva. So buddhi is different, like the mirror is different, the reflection of the sun is different, the sun is different. The mirror is buddhi. In that buddhi only, buddhi is antakarana. At one particular place called as aham vritti mein, the chit expresses as chidabhasa. That is different any day from the mirror. And the sun is far away. Sun is pure self. Mirror is the buddhi. The reflection of the sun in the mirror is called as chidabhasa. Chit abhasaha, reflection of chit. Looks like chit only, but not so. And that pure sun, isn't it? उनको जानने के लिए कोई संयम की डायरेक्ट जरूरत नहीं है. You can't do संयम on him. We can't be caught by the mana. है ना, संयम तो सारा अंतःकरण से ही होता है. He is not a विषय of that. He is self-evident. That's what Upanishad says. With the Atma Vidya, when you remove the Vidya, existing Atman is realized. Vidya never creates the Atman. Vidya never brings the Atman. Vidya never, gives that Atman to us. We are already that. Vidya removes the Avidya. Vidya removes the Vidya. Vidya removes the knowledge, removes the ignorance. Knowledge doesn't create the self. Knowledge even doesn't require to reveal the self. Self reveals itself when the ignorance is removed by knowledge. ये वाला थोड़ा पढ़ लेना. So the Samyama is done on Chidabhasa. The result is the knowledge about the presence of Purusha. That is what is this sutra. Tomorrow when we come, we go to next Chattiswa Sutra and Siddhi number 19 is what? Tatha Pratimba Prathiva Shravana Vedana Adarsha Aswada Varta Jayante. Then each of the Tanmatras, when we do Samyama, those Indriya का शक्तियाँ हमको मिलते हैं. That is the subject in the next sutra. We'll study when we meet again. Thank you.